Hello, and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream hosted by Logic Dolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. And with that, let's begin. We're doing something a little different today. I mean, every stream is something different, technically, but we're going to play an easy game, not because we're trying to win. I mean, we are trying to win, but there's been some discussion in the past couple streams, I think, about winning a game where the one remaining board was not there to begin with, because we've gotten a number of major powers that delete a board, major power that adds a board, and there is a specific achievement for winning a game where you're finishing on the one board that you didn't start with. And I have not gotten that achievement yet. So I thought, let's go ahead and try to get that. And I'm kind of motivated by Mentor, mainly because, I don't know, he gets major powers very easily. I guess it could even be base shifting memory, where instead of forgetting power cards, you can discard a power card from hand. But I like to just hoard powers. So let's just take all the majors. I think I'm going to try to do this game only clicking major power and seeing what happens. Energy, of course, is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but let's ignore that issue. It's difficulty 0. It's super easy. The challenge is to not win, like, super fast. But, yeah, we have to find the 2 major powers that give us that condition, so we kind of have to click majors the entire time. And there are only like 78 major powers and only like 15 turns in the game or something like that, so there's not even like a guaranteed chance that we will find it, but we're just gonna spam power gains until we find it. Anyway, we're playing solo, so it's a little different. There's only one board. Anything that targets another spirit targets me. Well, it says any here, but it targets anyone. It targets me in particular. So while I could certainly put a power card from my hand into my hand, more likely I'll put a card from my discard into my hand, and I could even play that immediately and repeat it, maybe. But most likely we're just going to prepare element markers. Anyway, the goal is not to win, the goal is just to survive. So, want to avoid fear as much as we can. We probably just want to focus on blight removal, but let's see. Start with the first major power at 0 energy. What's the worst that can happen? Inspire the release of stolen lands and cleansing floods. Okay. I wouldn't say these are great powers to have right now. They're expensive. I could click 9 energy and be able to afford it, but you have to go through the major power deck first. So this only gets me minor powers. It's not super helpful. That's fear. Don't really care about fear. I don't know. These do say blight removal, which I did say was a thing. This also says remove, which doesn't generate fear, which is good when we're trying to avoid fear-based victories. Let's just forget Boon of Ancient Memories because it doesn't get me major powers. And since energy is at a premium, I'm going up the energy track instead of the card place track. And let's save that for the Ravage. I don't really need elements, I guess. I guess I could take an air. But why? Eventually it'd be nice to put cards from my discard into hand, but really I guess preparing element markers is okay. So let's just play Elemental Teachings. And then something. So put a power card from my hand into my hand and then gain a marker. Let's go for, I guess, I don't know. I guess this is defend. which could be helpful. So we'll put that earth into my hand, and then I'll take an air, I guess. And then I can prepare something and discard elements and gain those elements, but I don't really need it. Let's take a water. Let's just spread it out. Getting unlock the gates would be nice, as I could get the elements and play it immediately. And then I don't need to defend, so wonderful turn. This is such a weird game. We're not really trying to win. We're just trying to go through the major power deck. Jungle Explorer. Okay. Great turn one. So this is Ravage, this is Ravage, this is Build, this is Build. This is 6 damage, but we could certainly prevent 2 Dahan from getting destroyed and let the Ravage happen anyway. And maybe remove Blight someday. Take a Major. Just keep spamming Major. Sweep into the sea, Mists of Oblivion. I will forget Mists of Oblivion because that card is useless. Easy click. Very niche use for it. It's really weird though, because it's like elements that Bringer likes, but it doesn't work for Bringer. You need to actually destroy buildings. Anyway, I have a wetland presence for cleansing floods down the road. We have a sacred site for share secrets. I think I'll just make this a sacred site then. We have range 1 to lands with cities, which is nice. Let's prevent Dahan from getting destroyed in D7. Don't think there's really much purpose in defend. But we could put a card from our discard into our hand. And then let's gain a moon and an animal, I guess. I do not want to spend the elements for that. I guess I could gather Dahan and let them wipe everything, but let's just destroy fewer. It's fine. We don't need to defend. Invader phase. The struggles of growth. A painful crux point each spirit chooses. Trade reach for deeper nature. Leave behind that which restrains you. And then ignore disease. During builds invader phase, 1 fear purported with disease. Careful defense when invaders ravage. The land has Dahan defend too. Oh, it would have fully defended that land, by the way. Gain a power card. I will gain a power card. I will get rid of my sacred sites. I'll put them back later. Having destroyed presence is fine. Gain majors. We get poisoned land and smothering infestation. Let's avoid blight adding, since we're trying to manage the blight that we're just kind of letting happen. D2 build will happen. Blight, and then blight. Let's kill the city. Jungle build. Exploring wetlands. And now we're gonna have to start thinking about these builds, or these ravages, as if they do go off, then we are going to blight the island. Unfortunately, my major powers are all slow. Literally every single major power we found is slow. Let's keep going. We get Talons of Lightning. We get Grant Hatred of Ravenous Form. Okay, this isn't Sacred Site, so we could defend 3 and D6. Trivially, it's D2, that's the problem. But Talons of Lightning does not work. So, unfortunately, we are gonna be able to afford Talons of Lightning if we want, but again, we can't target jungles with this. So yeah, we don't really have a solution to D2. You also can't really use share secrets, as I do not have the range to D6 if that was the case. So that Dahan's just going to die. We're going to blight the island. Womp womp. So let's ditch this one. I don't know. I'm just clicking random things. These are not the powers we want, so it doesn't really matter. We do get to prepare an element marker. Let's put our presence in D5 for greater visibility to D4 and D6. Hounds of Lightning would work for D3, but we don't have range. D1, we could just defend next turn, probably. Gather 3 Dahan, remove 3 health of invaders per Dahan. Could be used for D3 if so desired. Blight removal would be nice. Let's take Cleansing Floods and then use it based on where they're exploring. If they explore sands, we'll need to do it in one of those lands. If they explore jungle, we'll need to do it in D2. Yeah. I can still only play one card, by the way. That's okay. We're just gonna play one major every single turn. We can prepare an element marker. We're definitely gonna be using the earths. We don't have the water for this. We're never gonna have the water for this. Maybe we can prepare element markers. We don't have. Well, just fund an air to do it. That's a profit though. Let's just click that to spread the elements out. And then defend 3. Just defend 2, actually, that's all I need. And then put this into my hand. Gain the air that we spent. Gain an earth since we just spent 2 of them. Life's balance tilts. The energies of life shift towards destruction, bringing wasting and disease to the animals of the island. Death is a part of life, but does this go too far? You may let destruction have its day, or fortify the resilience of life. And 1,000 small storgles on each board with 4 or more buildings and 4 or fewer Dahan. Add a blight to a land without Dahan. We can fortify life. We can forget a card to do that. So, add beasts, remove disease. Discard this hot minor power. If it is slow, remove a blight. Invaders in Dahan have +1 health this turn. That's fine. We will have to... yeah, study the invader spheres is not really exciting anyway. Spending my animal marker is not going to help. I could discard 2 cards, I guess. Maybe that's a little better. Because I can always reclaim them easily. On each board, add beasts and remove disease. Let's put beasts here. Slow power, so you can remove a blight. Let's remove it from this one, as it's a little farther away from my wetland presence to remove with Cleansing Floods for now. And then that doesn't happen. We do lose the Dahan, but the island is not blighted. And Jungle Explorer, so blight removal D2 is important. Unfortunately, this is slightly worse as the city has +1 health, but that's okay. And we continue on. We get to 4 energy now. Gain Major, Winds of Rust, and Death Falls Gently. Still haven't found the cards that we want. This might take more than 1 game, that's okay. It's difficulty 0. Just gonna ditch whatever. Literally, if it's not Cast Down or the other power, whose name I forget, it doesn't matter. We could defend in D1 and then Talons of Lightning and D6, except we don't have energy for that. Winds of Rust, we would need a Sacred Site. That's okay, we can do that. Maybe Sacred Site D5 is a little better. So Winds of Rust. And I need another Earth to defend. That's okay. Let's gain the Earth. Let's put power card from my discard into my hand. This one seems a little better. Let's take a plant. Let's take a sun. And then defend this one. Defend this one. Alright. Farmers seek the Dahan for aid. The Dahan are uncertain whether to teach the invaders farming techniques more in tune with the island's life. You recommend they spurn the invaders or teach the invaders. Also, new diseases on half the boards rounding up. Add disease to a land with both Dahan and invaders to do 2 damage to Dahan there. Alright, 2 damage to Dahan and land with buildings and Dahan, so it's either D1, D7. Light to a land with at least 2 buildings is not happening. Buildings have -1 health till the end of the turn. Spurning is fine. Teaching is gonna turn the wetlands into super builded lands, I guess. Plus we're already defending, so it's kind of annoying. Let's just spurn the invaders. Let's do 2 damage here, and then disease and D7 as that's currently blighted. Communities in disarray. Cities each deal -1 damage during ravage. Invaders do not heal damage at the end of this turn. Alright, so the city damage is irrelevant. And the not recovering health is useless. Okay. Next up is Reclaim 1. Can we get the major powers we want? Fire and Flood, Pent Up Calamity. Well, I don't really want to spend 7 energy, so that one goes. So I said Reclaim 1 is next. Maybe I want to take 2 card plays. I guess I don't really care about the elemental threshold on this. This is fine elements. I guess we could do the elemental threshold on D2. Remove the beasts, 3 damage to kill the city. Oh, but I guess then we return the beasts and it's not defended. We could target D6 with it. Add disease, strife, and then since we didn't remove tokens, we'd add 2 strife, and that would solve D6. Kind of expensive, though. We just need to solve one of the lands. Since my defend is not enough for that presently. And 2 per card in the invader discard pile. That's 6. 6 would be enough. Requires a lot of earth, though. Could just take Winds of Rust and play it every turn. Doesn't really stop all the blight problems, though. We're still going to add 1 blight per turn presently. It's not mountains or wetlands, so Talons of Lightning doesn't help. Let's take plus card play. Put this presence here so I have better visibility, and then play this and this. I am going to need fire. I don't have fire in there. Elemental teaching's probably good, so I don't have to spend as many elemental markers this turn. Let's gain a fire. And then prepare one. And then discard 3. So we're currently at 2 moon, 1 fire. I need 2 fire to hit this threshold without spending markers, although kind of spending markers is the same thing anyway. Any reason to play a power card now by paying its cost? I guess I could play Winds of Rust and Pent-Up Calamity on the same turn. It doesn't give me fire, it gives me an air. There's not really much purpose in spending element markers if I'm only spending them one time anyway. Like, the fire on this isn't used anywhere else, the air on this isn't used anywhere else, so this decision is kind of moot. I guess if I want to hit the threshold on this, spending 1 air would enable that, but I don't have enough water anyway. Although share mentorship would let me gain markers, but it would be after this power's... Or no, I would play his power but not use it right away. But I don't need to repeat anyway, so I don't know why I'm going that far. So let's just not do that. Let's spend the 2 air, take Winds of Rust into hand, play Winds of Rust, and then gain an air that I lost. We have at least one of each. We're gonna spend 2 fire here, so let's gain a fire back. So spend the markers there, add tokens, and then add 2 strife, and then Winds of Rust to this. Is that silly when I can just defend 3 there? Because, hold on. If I remove a beast, I deal 3 damage, I could put the beasts back, and then defend 3 would be enough. So I think actually that's better, right? Because using up the strife all on 1 turn is kind of useless. I hit the wrong button on that. Spend, remove. Return. Oh, but I was supposed to click the token I wanted back. Then I can defend, and then I can defend. Alright. Invader phase. Far-off wars touch the island. Invaders from a different distant land launch an assault upon the island, while the invaders here rally together in a wave of nationalism. Defending the island with them might come at too high a price. Add a fear card to the top of the fear deck. That's good. I don't want to win the game. On each board in the land with the most buildings, choose for that board either encourage the destruction or blunt the offense. Encourage the destruction, 4 fear, destroy half of towns, rounding up, and half of cities, rounding up, add 2 blight without cascading, or blunt the offensive, destroy a town but do not gain fear. Ecosystem damage, on each board, add badlands to a land with blight. Return to old pillars, on each board, gather 1 or 2 Dahan into a land with Dahan setup symbols. Well, I don't want to add 2 blight because that will blight the island. Destroying a town but not gaining fear is totally fine. Land with most buildings, so that's, yeah, forcibly D6. Badlands to a land with blight. Let's click D7, I guess. And then we can gather into D2. Sure. It's defended. Fear card, struggles over farmland. Each player adds, capital A adds, strife in a land with blight. Okay. Well, D7 is solved, I guess. If they ever choose to explore sands, they explore mountains. Alright. Can we get to powers we want? Dream of the Untouched Land. There it is. We have to play this card eventually. Not this card. This card. Have to hit the elemental thresholds and then add the new island board. So let's... Energy is going to be kind of difficult because we still have to also cast down, and that's also an expensive power. I think I'm going to forget the expensive majors at this point. And Presence. Wetlands Ravage is here. Only really needs to defend one of them. That said, if I do want to Cleansing Floods again, which is my current only means of blight removal, that's not true. This also removes blight. With cost. Let's just make this a sacred site. Just gonna click something here. I meant to click this anyway. Let's assume I'm doing Winds of Rust. Winds of Rust solves D3. My Defend solves D1 if I have enough for it. I don't need the repeat on that. I would like to do both. I can gather and defend in D1. I guess I don't need to do both. I don't need to destroy Fewer Dahan. Okay, but let's not spend. I just want to take cards from my discard because it's nice. Let's just take the cheapest cards because energy is going to be at a premium soon. Let's take an Earth because I need to be able to defend, and then I don't need these thresholds. Let's take something that helps with this, I guess. Plant? Water? Moon? We have lots of moon. We have... let's take plant. And then I want to not spend. I want to gather Dahan here. I want to defend. I want to defend. Alright. Hardworking settlers. The latest round of settlers are regrettably diligent, focused, and curious. You may act cautiously in the background or create unnerving distractions at the cost of piquing their interest. On each board, push up to 2 Dahan, add a town to a land without town, immediately ravage in the land with the most invaders that matches a ravage card. Or, ravage cards skip up to 1 matching land on each board, 1 fear per player, remove the bottommost stage 2 and stage 3 cards in the invader deck from the game. I don't want to do that. This game needs to last as long as possible. Beasts prey upon the injured. This turn, beasts also count as badlands. On each board, destroy a damaged invader in a land with beasts. Okay. Push up to 2 Dahan. You only have 3 Dahan on this board right now? Really? Oh, because we destroyed 3 of them, right? Yeah, we destroyed 1 from a Ravage. We destroyed 2 of them from the other event. Farmers Seek. And the land with the most invaders matching Ravage card would be D3 and it's defended. That's fine. We could put a town in there if so desired. Whatever. Let's just not do things. Dahan and Heartened. Each player may push one Dahan from a land with invaders or gather a Dahan into a land with invaders. I don't want that right now. I guess I could push Dahan from D7 into D8 or something. Yeah, let's do D5. Well, it doesn't really matter. We need to defend both of those or something. Build in the mountains. Exploring coastal. Alright. Keep clicking major. Terrifying Nightmares. Vengeance of the Dead. I'm just going to forget Vengeance of the Dead. Don't really like that one too much. Dream of the Untouched Land. You could use to stop the Ravage in D5. Removes Blight, removes the 3 health worth of invaders, and adds a new island board. Can afford this. Can't afford much of anything else. We would need moon, water, earth, plant. My water cards are major. My plant cards are major. So all we can do is moon and earth. Which I can do with elemental teachings. Just take the cheapest card, I guess. Prepare an element marker. Prepare element marker. And gain elements that match it. So we do already have this without needing to gain elements. I don't really care about playing a power card by paying its cost. Like, share secrets I don't really need. I guess I could gather Dahan into D8 after it's defended. That would require 2 air. But I don't need that for this. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Let's gather Dahan here just so that I can get rid of it. Share secrets. Share secrets. Gain the air. Still can do that. I don't need to do both of those. Let's... We don't need to hit this after this turn. Just click air, I guess. Okay, spend the elements. Remove the blight. Remove the invaders. And then... let's pretend like this was a 2-board game to begin with. Would that be up here? No. It normally set up like this. Yeah, so let's put it here. We are adding 2 beasts, 2 wilds, 2 badlands, and 2 presents from any spirits anywhere on it. That's very accelerated growth, which is nice. I guess Coastal's already been explored. Stage 3 is next. Let's put 2 beasts there, wilds here. Let's put badlands with the beasts. And then 2 presents from any spirit. So, like... let's just put Sacred Site C5. Cool. Then all we have to do is defend here. We don't need to spend. Let's gather. We don't need to spend. I could repeat it by paying its cost, which is 0. I don't need to gather more than that. There's no Dahan on board C, by the way, which is awkward, but let's just make sure we destroy fewer. All right, Invader phase. Overconfidence. If you have earned any fear cards, if you have any earned fear cards, discard 2 of them now so you don't get their text benefits, otherwise lose 2 fear per player. Beasts multiply on each board, add beasts to a land adjacent to beasts, then destroy a Dahan in the land with beasts. Coordinated defense. When invaders ravage, the land has both Dahan and presence, defend 5. Alright, we lose 2 fear. Add beast to land, blah blah blah. We're not losing beasts here. Let's just throw one there. I meant to click C5, doesn't matter. Let's click here. And then defend, which doesn't matter. Hello, John. Welcome. We are trying to win on an island board we didn't start with, which is currently board C. Let's skip board D for the coastal lands build. They're exploring mountains and jungles. All right. Now, I actually have to go to the bathroom. Sorry, this is an emergency. I'll be right back. Logic returns. Very sorry about that. Okay. So, we have succeeded on one half of our goal. We have created a new island board. We now need to destroy board D, which means we need to cast down into the briny deep, which means we need to keep clicking major powers. Coastal Ravage, and it's these lands, rather like that. Mountain Jungle, this one's fine. Mountain Jungle build. I lost my ability. I can't even right click on this board. Right clicking is not working. I can do that, but I can't right click. Okay. Is this the part where I submit the bug report, the obligatory bug report part of the stream? John says weird. I blame John for this. Can I right click on cards? Yes. Right click on cards works. Right click on the top board works. Does not work on the bottom board. Just randomly clicking to see like if it expects the board in a weird place. That is a new board, yes. It's from this. Alright, clicking randomly did not create random things, so. Alright, major power. Just clicking majors until we cast down. We get sea monsters, we got bombarded with boulders and stinging seeds. If I use undo, it should fix it. Too late, I can't undo right now. I can undo in a sec though, I guess. Sea monsters? Let's just forget this. A lot of these powers are expensive, but we need to hoard energy, which is annoying. We're gonna run out of presents soon too. Don't think I care about a lot of these ravages, except the jungle build is tragic. We could Terrifying Nightmares, but that's energy. Energy is at a premium. Weird. We have range 1 to many lands. We have coastal, or whatever. Oh, this is mountain jungle. So I need mountain jungle presence now? Not that it's like super important, but... I'm just gonna play Elemental Teachings every turn. Just because it's an element marker. Hoarding them for a rainy day. Still tier level 1, which is good. We don't want to win the game. I will play Terrifying Nightmares just so that D2 doesn't build. That seems important. Let's prepare water and animal. I'm just clicking random elements here. Okay. D3 can ravage, that's fine. Gonna Terrifying Nightmares, these guys. I don't really want the extra fear anyway. Throw you into D4, that's fine. I don't really want to spend the earth. Just take a card from my discard. Winds of Rust. Gain one of these. Gain whatever. Fire. Prepare a water. What are the elements for cast down? Water and earth? Don't need to defend. Resourceful populace for the rest of the turn. After an action destroys one or more buildings, add a town to an adjacent land. Strip the land bare. Sorry, we're not doing that. Virulence among close-packed homes. On each board, add disease to the inland land with the most buildings. Offerings of story and season. Each spirit with at least 3 Dahan among all its lands gains 1 energy and may reclaim 1 card. Well, there's only 3 Dahan on the island. And I am in all of those lands. Yay! So not board C and board D. Can't click mountains. I can't click jungle. And I can reclaim a card. Yay. Hence of Calamity. Coastal Ravage. That's Blade. Mountain Jungle build. Oh, right. We get to skip 1 board for this. I keep forgetting. That's the thing. Skip this one so they only build C4. Mountains, Wetlands. Maybe it was better to not let board C build. I can't undo. Okay, well, I guess I can't undo. Also, I still haven't undone. Let's click this and then undo. Yes. Hey, this works now. Yay. Alright. Give me cast down. That is not cast down. That is noticeably not cast down. I won't forget sea monsters because I'm silly. Make more sacred sites for fun. I guess a lot of these are range 0 powers. Maybe I should consider using them in good places. Mountain Jungle Ravage, Mountain Build. Presence track is maxed, by the way. How many cards do you have left? 3. Running out of time here. Doing my best. Fire's Haunting in C4. Just play the Sharp Fangs power. Pent Up Calamity C5 or something? Just click water and earth. Okay. Don't spend. Pent Up Calamity. Click random thing. Don't really want to discard. Defend 3. Wait. I don't need that. There's only... Oh no, there are 2 explorers there. Hard to tell. And then don't spend. Is there an achievement for having at least 2 of each elemental marker? Wavering Resolve. Remove 1 health worth of invaders per power card in play that generates fear. Dangerous lands. On each board, 1 damage in land with Badlands Beasts, 1 damage to Dahan in land with Badlands Beasts and Dahan. Waning support on each board with buildings, and 5 or fewer Dahan destroy a presence, and 3 or fewer Dahan also add a blight to a land with buildings. Well, we only have like 3 Dahan total, so I guess we're doing all of that. Remove 1 health worth of invaders per power card and play that generates fear. 2 invader health left to remove. Just get rid of all the builds on this board and then skip the builds on board D. Oh, I guess actually I can't stop both these builds in the current state, so I have to actually do this and this. And then that beast destroys that guy. Okay, these Dahan are safe at least, which is nice. Guess I'll just kill this town that's strifed. We are destroying a presence on each of these boards. Also add a blight in a land with buildings. Oh, wait, that's actually kind of bad, isn't it? I guess D4. Buy presents. Each player may push up to 3 explorer towns from an inland land. We don't have defend in D5, so I can't push things in there, and I can't push things into D8, which is annoying. I guess let's vacate the things from the Blight land. Put it into a land that's also blighting. Blight card will be flipped. So let's solve the ravages that are currently solved. Still a healthy island for now. Invaders find the land to their liking immediately. If the terror level is 1, 2, 3, increase the requirement to earn a fear card by 1.52 fear per player. Okay. You didn't want to win the game anyway. Alright, click a board to skip it. Skip board D. Okay, exploring sands wetlands. Alright, come on, cast down. Exaltation of the incandescent sky, vanished softly away, forgotten by all. Play 1 power card, make 2 powers fast, 3 damage in one of their lands, and 4 lands on the island, skip invader action, 5 fear. On the 5th turn of Spirit Island, my true love gave to me 5 fear total. 4 lands, skip invader actions, 3 damage one of the lands, 2 powers slip past, and 1 power card by paying its cost. Okay, sorry, I had to do that. Oh, that's cute. Let's get rid of that. It's expensive. We can reposition presence on the island. Let's just go out of D1. I don't know. Winds of Rust. Flame Elemental Teachings. Play another Earth card. I guess we could click something random like this. Mountain, jungle, things. Sure, why not? Prepare. 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 Guess we could repeat this power. Does that solve things? We just need to solve the 2 wetlands ravages on board D, I guess. Don't need to repeat it. I guess D3 needs more than just that, I guess. But animal water is not used anywhere else. Plant isn't used anywhere else. We don't need that. We don't need that. Okay. I don't want to spend the energy. Alright, cities rise. On each board in the land with most towns, replace 2 towns with 2 cities. Beasts chase off homesteaders. On each board, push 2 explorers or a town from a land with beasts. Careful defense when invaders ravage. The land has Dahan, defend 2. Okay. Stops this build. You can go there, that's fine. And you can go there, that's fine. That's fine. Each player moves an explorer town from a land with presence. Okay. Skip D. Jungle wetlands. Alright, that's the last explorer, so we really need to cast down, like, in the next turn, otherwise we lose. Well, not, I mean, like, we're gonna pretty much lose anyway, but the point is not to win. The point is to cast down, and we lose our goal of casting down if that happens. That's the problem. So... let's just do crap here. It's not enough, but it gets rid of a lot of those problems. We are on tier level 2. We can win the game by getting 8 fear. I mean, that's... I guess there's 2 cities on the board now. Alright, if this is not cast down, we've basically lost. Fragments of yesteryear and infinite vitality. Womp womp. Because cast down is slow. I guess we could make it fast by using the power that I totally didn't forget. But, oh well. We could put Dahan on board C this way. For fun. This is range 0. What's a land that has 2 Dahan? C3. So we don't actually need... oh, we do need to be in that land. Let's move either. This one. This one. This one. It's the last turn. I'll just play an extra power. Why not? I mean, it's technically not the last turn, but it's the last slow phase, so. Earth, air, moon. I don't have the energy to play those powers, so those thresholds don't matter. I guess the elements matter, sort of. It's fine. I don't need to spend for that. I do want to do this. You know, I don't really have... I don't really have any Ravage plans here, do I? Whoops. Courage of the crowd. Invaders do not ravage on lands unless there are more invaders than the current terror level. Ravage actions do +2 damage per land. Prey on Heedless. In each land with beasts, damage per beasts. Leave the hostile land on each board. Push Dahan per Badlands Disease to lands without Badlands Disease. I guess that stops some ravages. Yes, I know that you're blighting. Okay, yeah, those ravages were stopped because they did not have more than 2? Yeah, terror level 2. They would build C1, they would build a lot there, so just build C1, that's fine. They explore Jungle Sands. This one, I want to spend... We haven't won because of the town in C1. Maybe we'll get lucky. Cast down fast? Nope. I guess actually Terrifying Nightmares is better. Push into C2, Tigers hunting C2. Oh, there's no valid target for studying invaders' fears. Oh no, whatever shall I do? Oh, we won anyway. Wow, this game was so hard. 9 points. Okay, let's do it with 2 spirits, because that might help a little bit. I don't know how easy it will be. Well, I'm thinking Mentor and Serpent. The problem is, this doesn't reclaim cards like it was in the single spirit game, which means I might have to reclaim all sometimes, or just only do 1 major power lottery, whatever. I mean, I guess that's fine. But if Serpent gets to this threshold, then Mentor could gain a major power without forgetting, which means 2 major powers without forgetting. Is that helpful? I don't know. Also, I would have to cast down 1 additional time, which might not be good. It's also like 2 more sets of things. I think I'm just gonna do 1 board. 1 board is easier to think about. The thing was that like it would let me see more major powers, but I also don't want Serpent to get. I guess it's okay if Serpent casts down, right? The problem is, what if Serpent draws 4 major powers, 1 of which is cast down, and 1 of which is the other one, whose name I already forgot. Bonus growth for 1 more draft. These will disable statistics and most achievements. Does that disable the achievement? It says most achievements. I don't know what most achievements means. Yeah, so not that. Exactly. It's okay. We will just roll with it. I can turn off expansions that don't have the powers you want, like Nature Incarnate. Ah, so those... Yeah, I guess those are not Nature Incarnate things, but then this turns off... No, Shifting Memory is not Nature Incarnate. There's events in Nature Incarnate, right? I do need Branch and Claw on Jagged Earth. Okay. Alright, let's go with that. No new content for me today, I guess. Although we just did new content, but it's okay. Sands Explorer. Alright, here we go. Major power. Spill Bitterness, Rapid Wings. I mean, if I really, really, really want to cheese this, the problem is this will screw with my statistics. I could just restart game until I get 1 of the 2 powers. The major issue, though, is that it will screw with my statistics and will say that I lost with Mentor 600 times. Rapid Wings is fine. This is range 1. Correct play is not to play a card this turn, so there's not really much purpose in doing so. I guess Elemental Teachings gets me an element marker, and then I could... But I'm only at 1 card play right now, so I can't really play Elemental Teachings every turn. Although, it kind of would enable me to do this, but I mean... I also don't have the Reclaim 1 right now. I'm just not going to play a card on turn 1. That's fine. I could spend an air for no purpose. Jungle Explorer. Alright. Turn 2 major. Instruments and Mists of Oblivion. I'll forget that one again. Still will not be able to afford either major power. This Ravage could happen. We'll defend this one. These are the builds. You could play Rapid Wings and solve both Ravages, but that's probably better for B4 next turn. Split B4 and B8 Ravage. Let's do Elemental Teachings this turn, Rapid Wings next turn to get Elemental Teachings back. So gain... Let's discard Earth. Really doesn't matter. We're spending it anyway. That's not ravaging. I gift myself instruments of their own root. Actually, I guess I could have used this on turn 1. Why am I stupid? I could have spent the air and gained an air thing. Whatever. I'm stupid. Read the card. Blah, blah, blah. Cultural assimilation. Sweet. Beast seal damage. Sweet. And then things, and then mounts. How many majors are there? 65? 4? 66? All right, new major. Infestation, focus. Gather up to 5 blight. Nah. Alright, Rapid Wings, I need to be in the land with the Han somewhere, so this one sounds fine. I could gather, but... Take this back. Gain air, gain earth. Defend 3. Not spend. Farmers seek the Dahan for aid. Welcome back. Just spurn again. Same situation as we had last game, where I'm already defending these lands. I don't want to have them build instead. Again, we're down to 3 Dahan. Happened again. Sands. Major. Not getting anywhere here. This actually would be a pretty good game for draw towards a Consuming Void. If I wanted to win. The thing is, I don't want to win. We have a lot of fast majors this time. Are they doing anything? Not really. Stop the B2 ravage for whatever reason. Seems silly. I could let B2 blade. I lose a presence, it's fine. Could defend 3 and B2. That's fine. Each land with at least 2 explorers. Push explorers to adjacent land without invaders. Beasts to adjacent land with no blight. Deals damage there. Ravage defend 1 per Dahan. Move explorer from coastal land. Okay. Coastal build. Alright, come on, Major. Accelerated rot, settle into hunting grounds. Interesting. Synergy, yo. The synergy. Board explorer to land without invaders or to hunt. Beast destroy explorers. Slow power now instead of later. Jungle. That's not coastal jungle. Okay. Still looking for the powers. Twisted flowers, thickets are up. Those aren't the powers. Where are the powers? Where are the powers? Choose a land with city. Build there. Push 2 explorers to town from land with beasts. Gather Dahan to land with Dahan. Defend per Dahan. Stage 3 is next. Land thrashes, trees and stones. This is not working. Alright, let's start controlling the game a bit better because it's a little more out of control this game. Island's not blighted, which is good, but like, yeah. Actually, no, I want to do that here. Defend is enough there. Defend is enough here. Don't want to stun for that. Right. In lands with Dahan, one Dahan and one building do not participate in ravages. Rude. Okay. That's great. That does nothing. Or it does. I mean, these ravages are now less good, which is exceptionally rude. 1 damage per piece. Cool. Remove explore town from a land where it is the only invader. B6. Town doesn't participate. Town Dahan doesn't participate. Mountain jungle. Man, sure would be nice if those jungles were cleared right now. Rude. Gain major. Blood rack plague. Manifest incarnation. Could easily do that in B8. Mountains Ravage. Honestly, this is a good effect this turn for B2. Do I want to play the power card now by paying its cost? Does that do anything? There's no Dahan in those lands, but I could push Dahan out from B8 into B7. Yeah, that's probably fine. Oh, actually, no, that is defend it, because defend 3 is not actually what I need. I need this, spend... And now there's no blight here. And then... If invaders ravage, they damage invaders in adjacent lands, which means, I guess the city's not dealing the damage. We're still getting 5 damage that can clear B4. And then everything is defended, but just in case they do extra damage, I'll defend that. Life's balance tilts. You've seen this before. We're at 2 animal. Discard an animal to do that. That's fine. Invaders down to +1 health, so maybe not as good. Add beasts, remove disease. There's no disease. More beasts here for fun. It's fast, we don't remove the blade. Each board with 4 more buildings and 4 fewer Dahan. Yeah, there's not that many Dahan. Island is blighted. Still healthy, each player adds blight from this card to a hand adjacent to blight. Okay. That one. Well, that's kind of tragic. It's especially a tragic. Every single piece has plus health. Oh, the city's also dealing damage, actually? That's cool. I thought it was going to lose the strife, but I guess for that card, it doesn't matter. It would have been nice if we stopped the B7 ravage, or C7 build. Whatever. We'll just instruments B2 every turn. So it has to have cities. They didn't build a city here because I'm stupid. The only land I can hit is B2. Okay. Okay, yep, that's a lot of fear. Are we gonna get lucky and get both powers? Power Storm, Terrifying Nightmares? Nope. Okay. It's gonna be defended. Not sure about that. That's gonna just do the thing we did last turn. Maybe we... I guess no, it's fine to do that in B1. Could wrap in wings, and that would be enough for B7. Okay. Want to spend. Defend 2 is enough here. Rapid wings is enough here. I move the Dahan into their own land. Okay. On each board, remove a strife. If you can't, invaders do +1 damage per land when ravaging a lands with buildings. On each board, destroy explore town land with beasts. On each board, push through Dahan from lands with disease to lands without disease. Player chooses a different land with Dahan. 2 damage per Dahan there. Okay, cool. We'll push any number of explorer towns from one land. Choose a different land to isolate, defend 4 in those lands. Add strife to invader, minus 1 health per strife. Remove an explore town from land with presence or a city from land with sacred site. Okay. Sands Mountains. It's weird, they keep ravaging mountains every single turn, and yet it's helping me. Freeze radiate, flow like water. Those are not the powers I wanted. Okay. Just B2, okay. Played that for fun, I guess. Alright, invader cards, build step in a land not shown, beast deal damage, Dahan to mountains or sands with Dahan. Hey, we got Dahan back. And we're building wetlands. Last slow phase, last chance. Don't have the energy to do it though. Got Dream of the Untouched Land though. So we have some of it. I can only reposition. Okay. Because it came too late to be helpful. And 18 is pretty good power, huh? We're at 5 to Han. Alright. Indomitable Claim, Vengeance of the Dead. Okay. That's not cast down. I just need 2 fear. That's all I need. 2 fear. Actually, wait. Yay! No buildings, but also no cities. Alright, let's try this one more time. Game is a lot easier when you're only playing one board. Very few things you have to consider versus playing 4 boards. There's way too much to consider. 10 points! We did better this time. Because we had 2 more to Han. 0 remaining cards in the Invader deck. Oh, okay. Wasn't there a button to replay the same game? Or was that only when you lose? Maybe it's only when you lose. Alright, Mentor. Sands. Major Tsunami. I'm just kind of clicking randomly. I kind of just been keeping all my elements balanced just because OCD. Don't need to defend. At least at this time I did actually take it from hand so that I don't have to forego the element marker gains. Guess I'm not that stupid anyway. Alright. Instruments, Pent-Up Calamity. Ooh. Jungle or land without blight. We can't afford that this turn. Probably don't want to spend it this turn though. Get rid of Study. I do kind of like my current powers. We'll let this blight will defend that. So take this from discard. And then defend. And we can Oh, we don't have the air for that. We could gather 2 Dahan and then one of them dies. Instruments will be good in B6 next turn now, so let's gather 2 Dahan there. Aha! We saved the Dahan by doing that. Beasts also kill the town, so we don't need to super defend that. Actually, no, it's not even... Okay, we stopped that blight. And there's no land with 2 buildings. This game is more under control immediately, even though we still haven't found the powers we wanted, but at least these powers feel like they're doing more than last game's powers did. Alright. Gain major, wounded wild, weave. Weave is not what we wanted. I don't want to deal with weave. Might as well just weave and go away. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so we do instruments in B6. And then defend B6. So then this will be blighted. Actually, I don't need to defend because the city kills the town. Okay, so we could defend B1 if we want. At the cost of an earth. I don't think it matters. Go into B4, so I have visibility to B1. One of everything. Don't want to spend the earths for that defend. Resourceful populace. So we're going to get another town when that city dies. Disease, and we only have 2 Dahan in our lands. Jungle Explorer. Alright. New major. Accelerated rot. Spill bitterness. Heads up calamity is fine for B2. Defend. Defend 2. And then alright. Bureaucrats adjust funding. We're definitely not at either of those, right? 2 fear per ward with 2 or more beasts. Should we have 0? And Dahan and Presence is defend 5. We don't have that. Remove an explorer from a land with Dahan. Alright, stops the B8 build. Wetlands Explorer. Alright. Major. Dream of the Untouched Land. Alright. We've seen that in every single game. We've never seen Cast Down. Womp womp. Alright. So doing that on B4 would be good. Let's do plus card play. And then Moon Earth. And then we do have the ability to do that. Spend 2 air to play the card from discard. Don't have energy, so don't do that. Then gain something. We don't need the defend this turn, so let's not do that. And then Dream of the Untouched Land, spend, remove, and then set this up the way it should be. And then just doing it in random places. And then defend, there's no Ravage anymore, so we don't need it. Maybe we just click a land in case I decide to gather something there, and these invaders won't work. Okay, then finish anyway. Invaders do +1 damage when ravaging. Diseased jungle wetland with the most buildings. Remove blight from land with 2 to Han. Skip B build. Sands Explorer. Ah, F1 does not have a wilds. That's wild. Alright, now we need cast down. We're gonna get lucky this time, right? Sea monsters, unrelenting growth. Kinda too late for unrelenting growth, I will admit. And then range 1 sacred site is everywhere now. Nothing is range 0 at the moment. We'll just go into F1 for fun, I guess. Oh yeah. I have to undo for this to work. Let's just wait for the slow phase, or for the fast phase, power phase, whatever, so that I don't undo all the way back. Kind of be nice to just have this explored die somehow. Just disease it straight up seems like a waste. Instrument's almost dizzy enough for B1. I guess we could defend it. I can reclaim a power card. Spend an earth and 2 air to play elemental teachings. Seems like a waste. I don't want the threshold on that. I mean, we could do the threshold on that. Let's not spend. Seems a bit awkward. I mean, my plan was for doing that in F1, wasn't it? Maybe I didn't want to do it that way. What's up, Calamity? Do not spend, as we're just gonna do this. Instruments here. defend here. Okay. We have earned fear cards. Discard 2 of them, otherwise lose 2 fear. We lose the fear. Beasts, blah, blah, blah. Destroy Dahana land with beasts. And if the land has both Dahana and presence, defend 5. No beasts on board B, but we added to B4 or B7. And then we can add this wherever. Wetlands Ravage. Sands Build. Skip B. Mountains Explore. Alright. Cast down. Sleep and Never Waken. Death Falls. Alright, let's get rid of that. We added the new board. Sacred Site there, I guess. Sands Ravage. This is the only one that's bad. Mountains Build. Still on Terror level 1, despite how we're controlling the game. I don't know, I'm just like being slow for no reason. Just do blight removal, I guess. Don't have the energy to play that. Just defend. And each will have 2 more towns. Push town to land without towns. 1 fear board with disease. 2 damage to Dahan and land with disease. During Ravage, Dahan only do 1 damage each, but deal damage before invaders. Bye, Dahan. Skip B. Mountains Jungle. Remove the blight there. Cast down. Infinite Vitality, Indomitable Claim. Sea Monsters is a nice card, but I don't want to play it. There's also no blight on the board, so I kept this power for no reason. Indomitable Claim's also not really doing much. Clicking B7 with instruments and thresholding it to stop the jungle build? Well, jungle's not really building. So we're skipping that, of course. Skip all actions and target land is good this turn. Need more sun for this. Let's click this one. I can reclaim a power card. And let's... Whoops. I can click that now. That undo apparently works. Let's play Elemental Teachings, I guess. With the cost of 2 air. We already have this, though. Wow, that's cool. I don't have to spend any element markers for that. Remove 6 explorers among your lands. So we're scupping that. And then remove the beasts, destroy the building in there. The beast's back. And then we don't need to defend it all, but... just in case. Do you also have the repeat on this? Or have I just not done it yet? Wait, what? I decided to do it yet. Missionaries arrive. Aided by sun, we have 2 suns. Cities do plus damage, not happening. Discard whatever. Oh, I misread my thing. Discard whatever. Beast kill explorers. On each board, remove Explorer Town from a land with tokens. Alright, stops the build. On each land with 2 more explorers, destroy an Explorer Town per 2 explorers. Skip board B. Sands Wetlands. Alright. Still have some time. Power Storm, Mists of Oblivion. Almost a Terra level 3, but we do still have a city on the board. And I'm not worried about it. Just Pent Up Calamity it. Sands Wetlands build. Yes, F1 I still have to stop somehow. Just Power Storm? Just Power Storm. I guess I could have done the threshold just to kill the explorer. Seems like a waste. I don't want to kill the city as that will win the game. Don't want to kill the city as that will win the game. In case they have more strife. And I don't want to play more cards. Alright. Urban development. Cities do +2 damage. Add disease, ignore disease. Fear per land with invaders or to hunt outnumber things. Ah, so F1 is in fact building. Nice. Each point we downgrade a town in a coastal land. Okay. Jungle Sands. Tickets erupt. Storm Swath. Alright, Sands, Wetlands. Jungle Sands. Defend in B3 stops that. F1 needs more care. Might actually be enough to just instruments there. Sure, Storm Swath's gonna do something. I keep clicking the wrong button. Alright. Don't really want to play that. Defend for B3. Only a little bit. Teachings. Instruments without threshold. Well, with threshold actually would be fine, actually. Kills F2 and F5, stops those builds. In a single land with most invaders, push beasts generate fear if invaders are present. Tudhan from a land with blight to a land without blight. Oh. That's actually kind of annoying. Really annoying. It's actually better to click board B here. Or board F here. Let board B build. That's weird. Sands Mountains. And lands where you did this damage, destroy a town. Okay, I did something. Last slow phase, last chance for cast down, irresistible call, manifest. Nope. So it shall be. No cast downs. Cast down does not exist. just need one. Cannot afford any of those. Farmers! Strife and a land with tokens. Jungle wetlands. And then manifest here. And we won again. Weird. Difficulty 0 is so easy. I don't know how anyone ever loses to. And this time we got 14 points because there was no blight on the island this time. I think the same number of Dahan as last game, maybe? I don't know. But still no cards left in the Invader deck. Well, rather weird stream. I was kind of just going with the flow because normally my goal is to win the game, but this time my goal was to find cast downs, so it was largely just trying to play fast to draw more power cards to increase the chance that I could find cast down in this game. Unfortunately, I could not find it in either of the 3 games. It does exist, but for whatever reason I just can't find it. We added an extra island board 3 times though, which was nice. But yeah. Maybe we'll continue this next week. Maybe we'll just get back to serious Spirit Island, or maybe we'll play 1-deck dungeon. Who knows? I like to decide what I'm gonna do for stream on a whim. And we'll see what my whim does next week. In any case, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your stay. This is Dolphin's Dive, now on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Check out Handelabra Live Tuesdays at 3 p.m. for demos of content before it is publicly available. Until next week, see ya.